Yeah.
This morning, the Trump campaign announced Robert Kennedy Jr. to the transition team as we talk about a role he might have in a potential Trump second term. What kind of role do you think he might have in the Trump administration?
Well, look, I think, first of all, what Robert Kennedy's endorsement really means is the Kennedy Democrat Party, which my grandparents belonged to, is no longer with us, right? Kamala Harris killed it. It's now the party of open borders, high inflation, and I think it's not surprising that a guy like RFK doesn't feel welcome in that party. Now, he doesn't disagree with us on everything, and of course, we don't agree with him on everything, but it really is an amazing realignment that we're witnessing in American politics, that Robert F. Kennedy is endorsing Donald J. Trump for president. Look, I think the role that I'd love to see RFK play is this is what the transition team fundamentally does, is advising the president on making critical selections for who's going to go in the government, who's going to have an important advisory role. I think RFK talks about a lot of stuff that frankly the media doesn't talk about, like why do we have one of the highest obesity rates in the world? Why do we have such bad health problems with our kids? You know, skyrocketing rates of mental abuse, skyrocketing rates of addiction. I think there's a lot of like basic health questions that Robert F. Kennedy is going to have an interesting perspective on. And of course, he's got interesting perspectives on a lot of things, but that's sort of, when I think about Robert F. Kennedy, I think, you know, he's asking important questions about why Americans seem in such poor health, especially poor mental health, and especially our young girls.
Is there any kind of specific role you could see him having in an administration?
I think we'll get to that point once we'll cross that bridge once we come to it, because right now we're thinking about how to win this election, and of course you start, the closer you get, thinking about the actual kind of government that you want to have in place, and then you figure out who you want to staff in that government. I think it's a little premature to talk about specific roles, but look, I hope RFK has a role, because I think he's a smart guy, I think he's fundamentally a good guy, and I'm glad to have him on the team.
I know you said it's too early to talk about specific roles, but have you and the transition team are throwing out names for potential cabinet positions? I mean, have you guys already started formulating those lists?
At a very early level, and some people are talking about it and some people aren't. So yeah, I mean, look, there are already people jockeying for positions, as you can probably anticipate, but I'm not going to say who they are right now.